right? Yeah. Okay, so most of you have been doing this for a while now, and you're building up a certain amount of the knowledge of the form. So you can think of the knowledge of the form itself as being like a book. So you've read the first bit of the book. You got a few chapters in now. And in order to continue to understand the book, you have to continually go back to those first couple chapters as reference points in the development to further understand the rest of the book. And the real key to this is that you actually develop a practice of your own rather than just relying on classes. And so you get these two different sort of categories of training. You get class training, where you're being given more information, and that furthering of the information should feed into everything in general when you're practicing. But then there's also this idea of your own home personal practice. And the idea is that a person would learn the form, would practice the form every 24 hours, so every day. And this is part of the dynamic of Chinese medicine, and it's called the circadian rhythms, or the horary clock. And every 24 hours, the energy in the body, the concept of the energy in the body, cycles through all of the different meridians. And by putting the Tai Chi into the 24-hour cycle, the movements and the knowledge filter into all 12 every cycle. And that is really the heart of the home practice, is this ritualized everyday expression. And the way you think about it is you think about a garden, right? I got my plant here as an idea. So every day I get a little bit of water. Every day I check to make sure there's no mites or aphids getting into it. But it doesn't take a lot of time. It's just like a quick little bit of water, quick little check over, and then I go on with my day. That's how you grow the Tai Chi form. Every day you practice the form to the degree that you can, and then that's it, let it go. You don't want to judge it beyond that because you don't need to. And then you come to class, and then more information gets given, and then you're able to practice maybe a little longer or have a little bit more in-depth understanding of what you're practicing. And then those two elements of your training go on forever, as long as you have a teacher anyways. And then, if you train for 30 years with a teacher and he passes or she passes, you'll still be able to learn from your home practice, because that will be feeding you and helping you develop better skills. There's a quote from a famous cellist, I think it was a cellist, some sort of orchestra instrument player, and this guy was in his 90s, and they were interviewing him, and they said, we hear that you practice for 2 hours a day every day still. Why do you do that? And he said, because I think I'm still getting better. And that's really the heart of it. So having said that, practice patiently, practice humbly, but keep practicing. And however that works for you is wonderful, because that's the point. Okay, so let's start the class. Unless there's any other further questions, I suppose we can get into.
Sorry, Leon, I'm going to leave now, but I'll catch up with you in the recording.
I see. Okay, well,
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Okay, so everybody else, hands to your side, bow. And then, here, let me show you. Classic starting position. My feet are shoulder width apart. My left foot goes forward. I keep shoulder width apart, hands on the dantian. And then we're going to go forward and back to the side, and then forward again. So the idea is to focus the belly button to the side and then back to the front. Start to become aware of your breath, breathing in, breathing out. Be aware of your feet. How does it feel to push through the legs, through the hips, into the belly? Now, go to the forward position, very slowly, back, turn. Breathe in as much air as you can, and then out, forward, and to the front. Breathe out all the air you can. In, and out. In, and out. Now, relax, but keep your weight on the front leg, on the left leg. Drop your right arm. Now, turn and come back. See how your arm is naturally moving out to the side? So take that and then come up and reach forward. Down, up, forward. So think about how the elbow just drops and you turn and then it rolls over and reaches forward. And when it rolls over and reaches forward, the elbow doesn't do anything other than go away from the body and with the reach. So the elbow's movement is quite minimal. So get the flow of that happening. And now speed it up a gear. And then speed it up another gear. And you have 2 more gears faster. So you have 1 more that's just a little bit faster, go to that. And then beyond this, you'll be as fast as you can go. Now as fast as you can go for just 3. 1, 2, 3. Now right back to first gear. And out. Hold it, express all the air out of that you can. Left foot to right, breathe in. Gather, bring down. Clearing the ribs around the hips, down to the ground. Up the toes to the inside. Gather, flip out and lean back. And then put your right foot forward, left foot back. Hands to the dead. Yeah. Forward and back. Forward and back. To the side, to the left, and then back to the front. Focus on your breathing. Focus on the control of the muscles of the legs. And make sure that your hips are coordinated or aligned to the directions they're supposed to go to. So here, they are to the side. Here, they are to the front, the hips. Okay, so focus on that. Now, really deep breath in. So go to the forward position, really deep breath in. Really deep breath out. Push into the left foot. In. Out. In. Out. Hold it. Now drop your left arm. And then start the motion again. with the arm, dropping and coming back, swinging up and reaching forward, dropping and coming back, forward. Now, speed it up a gear. Remember that we're going to go through 5 speeds, each one a little faster until the very last one is as fast as you can, keeping the motion correct. So gear number 2. Remember the hips are where the movement is coming from. So make sure your hips are turning to each side. Gear number 3, almost as fast as you can, getting into that higher speed range. And then gear number 4, almost maxing out, just below max. And then 3 times as fast as you can. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Big breath in, very slow. Hold it. And out. Hold it. Left foot to right. Breathe in and out. And around the hips and down. Around the toes and up. And out. All right, so that's the warm-up, more or less. Now, let's do a little bit of legs and balance. So first, just a simple exercise to get the legs warmed up and work on the strength of the legs. Just put your feet shoulder width apart, and you can turn your feet out slightly if you want, just slightly. But if they're straightforward, it's a little more difficult. So some amount of turning them out. Put your hands forward. You can cross them like this or just keep them here. And the idea is simply going to keep your back straight and come all the way down and then come all the way up. And the whole idea is the back is as straight as it can, all the way down and all the way up. Now, if you can only go down to about here, that's your range, no problem. Simply maximize your range or at least get close to it, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now turn your hands up. Bring up your left knee. And draw a circle with your foot forward. 1, 2. Bring your knee up each time. 3, 4, 5. Now draw a circle backwards. Draw the knee up each time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Bring your foot down. Right foot across. Up. Circle forward. 1, 2. Bring your knee up. 3, 4, 5. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Down. Now, take your right foot and step back like we kind of did in the beginning. Hands are up here. Now, we're going to bring our right knee as close as we can to the ground. If you can't go to the ground, just bring your weight forward to here and then come back. But if you can, go to the ground, right down and then right back up. And what I want you to focus on is when you go down and come back up, that your weight shifts back to the right foot. So my weight's on my right foot, goes forward, the knee comes down, back up, and then it shifts back to the right, okay? So ready? Just 5 on each side. Keep your hands up. 1. And back. 2. And back. 3. And back. 4. And back. One more on the side. 5. And back. Turn or change your feet. So your right foot's in front, your left knee comes down now. Ready? 1. And back. 2. 3. 4. 5. And back. Good. So those are really, really good leg exercises. Going down, bringing your knee down, coming up. Because in Tai Chi, you definitely want strong stances, and you need to work your legs for that. So, one more thing to do, and we'll do a stretch. Put your feet out, take your arms down. So, you warm up the limbs with the movements here, then you warm up the muscles, more focused way, in a way, and now we're going to warm up the breath. So what I want you to do is stand like this. Bring your hands here. Now bring your hands right up against your belly, below your belly button. Here, so you're holding the dantian physically. Feel it under your hands. Now, remember I said that we keep the spine straight. I say that a lot. So you're going to think of a straight line from here to here, but also from here to there on the back. So it's like a column. And you're going to breathe into the column so that the lower part expands out and then pushes in like a bellows, but the air is circulating through the whole thing without any hindrance, okay? And we're gonna breathe in, expanding the belly through our nose for 6 seconds. Then we're gonna hold it for 6 seconds. Then we're gonna breathe out for 6 seconds and hold the exhalation for 6 seconds. So, with me, hands here, breathe out to begin. And here we go, in and out through the nose. In. Hold. Out. Through the nose. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. One more together. In. Hold. Out. Hold. Now on your own, at your own rhythm, as long as you hold the breath at the top, hold the breath at the bottom for about equal length to the amount of time you took to breathe in or breathe out relatively. Okay? So on your own, just for about 30 seconds. Go ahead. Now exhale or finish the one you're doing. Left foot to right. Hands out, palms forward, breathe in. And now cleansing breath down. 1. So point your fingers at yourself. Think of like washing down the organs, clearing all the negative energy, so to speak. 2. And 3. Good. Now, before we stretch, I'll just mention something. We all know that if our computer or phone really gets stressed out, it really stops working, right? It freezes up. One of the things you can do if you need to, it's a little bit more severe of a solution than maybe it's the first solution, but you can do it, is turn it on and off. And the reason that works is because it resets everything back to default. Your breathing actually can do that too. If your breathing is getting anxious and too much up in the upper lungs and not enough relaxation and all that, by breathing in and holding it and breathing out and holding it, you're kind of doing the same thing as turning your phone on and off. You're trying to encourage the body to go back to default settings. And default settings, you can think of them as what you do when you're sleeping. Is your body's not consciously breathing, it's just the unconscious mechanism keeping you alive. Default setting. So that kind of breathing exercise is really good for that. If you ever feel the need to, if you're stressed out from your breathing is getting in the way, do that kind of breathing, at least as a concept. Okay, let's stretch. So feet out, sink down. Point your feet out, push your hips down, hands on your knees, and wiggle slightly. Find the stretch. Now, when you feel the stretch is set into the back of the hips, turn the hips forward, or the feet forward. Push the arms down so your knees and elbows are aligned, and push your knees out and push your hips down. Now from here, reach forward like you're going to dive into water, extending your spine. And now twist your left elbow to your right knee and look up at the ceiling. Other way. Straighten your back. Turn to your left. Push into the stretch to the left. So the idea of this stretch is the right leg is out, walk straight, the left knee is bent, and the weight is pushing to the left foot. And then lean onto that foot, push the back foot out even further. And then you can bring your hands to your knee, bring your left heel up, turn your hips straight to the left, and sink down. Put your back knee down, and push your weight forward against your left foot. Now shift your weight back to your right foot, sink back, and carefully sink down, pushing the toes of the left foot into the air. Flip your left foot down to the ground, push up, straighten your back, settle your stretch, turning to the right. So the left leg is extended out straight, the weight's pushing forward onto the right foot. Now further, pushing the weight onto the right foot, lean, and push that left foot out further. Now turn your left heel up, your hips straight to the right, and straighten up and sink down. Put your back knee down, and push your weight forward against your right foot. Then come up and carefully step back to your left foot, put the right foot toes in the air and sink down. hands to the middle. Work your feet in, slowly and easy. Stretching down, straightening the legs. Breathing in, bringing the hands up the back of the legs. Up to the kidneys. And then push the hips forward, release the breath. And then circle your hips. And then the other way. Good. Okay. Upper body. Hands out. And then just circle your whole arm back like a noodle from the shoulder. And let the circles start small and get bigger and bigger and bigger until they're full circles up and back from the shoulders. And then slow them down, getting smaller, smaller, and then stop. And then circle the other way, forward. Starting small, getting bigger, 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 until they're full circles from the shoulders. And then smaller, keeping the shoulders doing it, smaller, and then they're small. And then you grab the beach ball, bring it up over your head, breathe in, look up at it, and then slam it on the ground. 1, 2, 3. And then reach up for the ceiling. Look up at your hands, push your fingertips up into the ceiling, as far as you can push. And then go to your tippy toes and push that much further. Bring your heels down, grab your left hand with your right and pull it up straight from the shoulder. And then turn the palm on the left to the ceiling and pull it across your head. And then back to the center, drop your arm, and pull the left hand around as far as you can to the back. And then drop the arms, shake it off, and reach up for the ceiling again. Stretch. Tippy toes, high as you can. Push, push the stretch. And then heels down, pull the right arm straight up from the shoulder. And then turn the right palm to the ceiling and pull the arm across the head. And then drop the arm in front and twist around to the back wall as far as you can. And then come back to the front. Drop the arms, shrug the shoulders once, twice, and 3 times. Good, and relax. Just let the body relax for a moment. Extend the left arm up slowly. Grab the fingers, pull back. And then bring the hand in and turn it out to the front, palm to the outside. And then bring the fingers back up and forward and push back against the wrist. And then just simply bring the hand in like this, so that there's this zigzag shape here. And make sure your wrist is right below or above your elbow, and push your hand down. Give it a little shake. And then the right arm. Up, pull back. Up to your center, twist. Fingers back up and push back. And then bring your hand into this position. Wrist above elbow, push down. And then shake it off. And then turn your head side to side. And then roll your chin down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Look forward, look up slowly. Look down slowly. And come around. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I kind of want to see if I can make the leg look a little better for me. It's not quite the same as it normally is. It should be a little better. Okay. Yeah. No, that's weird. Usually I feel like there's better lighting, but I don't know. Maybe it's just today. The room. I can open the blinds a little bit though, maybe. That might help a bit. Okay, well, that's what it is today. So, we'll jump into the form. Last week, I know we've talked about the knee brushes. I know where we are, okay. So, let's review the form up until the end of the knee brushes, and we'll a couple times, and then we'll look at going forward. So, from here, to begin the form, remember you're standing, your heels touching, and if you can, your big toes are touching, your knees are bent. You're remembering that right now what you're doing is becoming aware of your spine and the alignment of the shoulders stacking on top of the hips, which stack on top of the knees, which stack on top of the ankles, and on top of the shoulders is the head, so all of it is aligned here. And then that's setting you up for the rest of the form to keep that alignment from the core of the body. So from here, relax. And now all the weight goes on the right leg, and you pick up your left foot very carefully, very slowly. Step out. And like you're scared of stepping through thin ice, put your toe down, then the rest of your toes, and very carefully add your weight to your left foot. When the weight is shifted to the left, shift back to the center between 50-50 between the legs, and then drop your hands. Look straight forward. And now here, look through peripheral vision. See the full potential field of vision you have, but also listen for all sounds around you. Sense in your intuition everything that's going around you. Become totally aware. And then raise your hands. Feeling the weight into your ankles, feeling your hands, the fingers of your hands being heavy. Roll your wrists forward. And then let your hands fall and pull into your center. Turn to the right. Open the door. Push down the thermos. Pick it back up. Aim to the corner. Throw away to the corner. Roll back. Turn the foot in. Come back. Pull back. Up. And then out. Double tray. Grab, pull down. Push away. Now, eyes, feet, then the hands. So your feet are now ready to take the hands movement across and across again. Left knee to left elbow, down, out, and expand. Feel the expansion across the room. Look to the front. Scoop the arms, 2 big circles. Hands point up. Hands drop, knee comes up. Knee at the highest point, hands at the lowest point. Hands come back around, everything drops down. Step forward, clear with the right hand, keep away with the left, strike with the right wrist. Roll back. Turn to the left, bring the left hand up in a circle. Right hand rises, left hand falls. White crane spreads its wings posture. Then strike the temple. Come air into the ear. Clear what's in front of you and push or strike. Reach up with both hands. Come back. Clear and push. So now check your posture here before we go any further. Left hand is down and forward with the palm to the outside. Right palm is forward, fingers up. My left foot is in front. Now, keeping the head up and the back straight, turn your left hand and left foot out. Take a step and push with your left hand. Then turn your right foot and right hand out. Take a step with your left foot and push with your right hand. Then reach up and forward, and then come back. Hands on the right side, up near the head. Okay? There's a lot there. I'll do it again, and then I'll take questions. Okay, so one more time through. So this time, I won't talk so much. So what you want to do is you want to notice where you get a little stuck, and then put a pin in that so we can address it, okay? So here we go, nice and slow. Step out. Okay, so that is as far as we've gotten. Any questions about it to there? Any particular points?
I have a question. The last part of the brush knee, when you step forward, is that a direct step forward, or does it kind of come foot to foot and then back out?
You're asking about how you step when you do the knee brushes.
Yes.
Yeah. Good question. Good question. We should address that in a whole class, but I'll show you the essence of it. Good. This is a great question though, so I'm glad you asked. If I stand here, you can see my feet right now. If I stand here and I just take a normal step, what tends to happen is the person picks up their foot and then they keep the width between the feet and then step, and then they actually fall onto the foot. You're not actually stepping onto the weight. This is dangerous if you think of like being on icy sidewalks or something, because that moment that you throw your weight onto the foot without being certain it's a good place to put your foot, you're risking falling. So in Tai Chi, you want to never, ever do that. So the way that you prevent that from happening is an entire principle, and so I'm really glad you asked. The principle is expressed this way. The feet must separate and then meet in order to stay in balance. What that means is that if you're here, they're separate. They're far from each other. In order to get to another position, they first have to come together, and then they can come apart again. And they can come together and then apart again. So that is throughout the form. That is absolutely everywhere in the form. It's a really important point. So thank you for asking again. Now watch, I'll do the knee brushes. Okay, so I'm here, but I'm facing the camera. I brush the knee, and that brings my weight forward to the left in this case. Now, as my hand comes up, my right foot comes forward here. So it's in what's called cat stance with the right foot forward. Then my right foot comes out, but I'm not committing my weight to my right foot. See, my heel is up until I push. So that is when my weight commits to the step. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It's a great question. Okay, any other questions? Everybody else is doing okay? All right. Good to hear. Okay, you are in the home stretch on the first set, everybody. You have basically kind of 2 more sequences and you got the whole first set. So that's a pretty good accomplishment. We're gonna highlight that when you guys get there, which I would figure it'd be about 2 more weeks and we'll get there. So let's look at the end. The next main sequence today, we'll need to review it, I'm sure, next week, but a good start today. So if I'm facing the camera and I've done my knee brushes and I do my final rise up and come back, okay, then I'm here. So this is on the right side of my body. My 2 hands are on my right side, palms to the outside. So the idea is you could be deflecting a punch past you this way. See? So I'm here. Now, just that I wish the light was on me a little better. Keep trying to fiddle with that, I guess. So I'm here. Now, my left hand, we'll start with the left hand. So your left hand is across your center line on the right side. It's going to drop down across your belly, like that. Here, so that's not too big a deal. So if you put both hands up, the left goes like this. Now, as the left drops, the right hand reaches in and across the center line like that. See the angle of my hand? It's a 45 degrees this way, okay? So that means that if something was being deflected, I wouldn't be coming across and hitting my thumb into it. I'd be connecting like this with the palm here. Okay, so it's going across this way. So again, from here, the left hand drops and the right hand reaches in across. Here. Then, then from here, my left hand, hello? Everything okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so again, start again. 2 hands are here, the left hand drops, the right hand reaches across. So what I've done is I've crossed my arms this way, basically, but at this angle. Now, go back to here, and now forget about the right hand, drop the left hand. Now the left hand is from here going to reach up and out, like that. So it's going to come up and out as if I was trying to present something, like holding a tray. I'm holding something. okay? So from here again, drop the left hand, reach up and out with it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, the right hand does this though. So the left hand drops, the right hand reaches out. Now as the left hand comes to hold the tray out this way, the right hand recedes. Okay, so we'll do it again. And you'll notice what's happening is one arm is reaching in, the other one is coming back. Then the other one is coming in and the other one is coming back. This is yin-yang principle. One is yin, one is yang, one is yin at all times. So from here, right reaches across, left is pulled back. Left rises up as right comes back. You'll notice that they're doing this. And then the left hand is here. The right hand comes to rest at the center here. Okay, so one more time from here. Reach across. Left hand comes out, right hand comes back, and then your first posture is here. The right hand is one hand version of the prayer position to here. Okay, so one more time. 1, 2. Now, it gets a little more complicated, but I want you to understand what you're thinking about here. The idea is you're here, and somebody punches twice. On the first punch, you deflect it with the right hand coming across. So the punch is coming in, and you're going across this way, and that gets you that position. Then the second punch comes in, and you're coming up on the inside this way to do the block, here, there. So the left hand comes out to do that block. So it goes block, block, okay? So I want you guys to really think about that for a second. Put your hands to here, and go block with the right, block with the left. One more time from here, block with the right, block with the left. Now, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to punch left hand, right hand. And you're going to do those moves. So put your hands up like this. Now, very slowly, think about it. Your right hand is going to go across your center and clear this punch. So I punch and you clear it to the side. Then my right hand comes in and your left hand will rise up and meet the inside of my right wrist here. Okay, so let your left hand come up on the inside of the arm here. Okay, one more time. 1, knock it that way. 2, sort of stop it by putting your hand on the inside here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If that makes sense, and I'm assuming it kind of does, when you go to here, your left hand is still connected to their arm, right? So if I punched 1, 2, your left hand would still be on the inside of my arm, okay? So that's what you want, that sets up the next step. So let's look at the next step. Again, if I'm facing the camera, so you can see, I'm here, and I go 1, 2. My feet are in cat stance. Right from this point here, this is all cat stance. 1, 2. That means all of my weight is on my right foot. Now, after the 2 blocks, I'm going to step my left foot forward a bit, and I'm going to push my right hand forward and bring my left hand back slightly. This motion here. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm using the inside edge of my hand along the pinky finger side here as a strike, this way, into the sternum here, like this, but out of course, right? So to do that, from here, my foot moves in and my waist pushes forward. So there's the power comes from the waist turning, which of course should be familiar because it's just this, done in this moment here, okay? So again, this is a very complex sequence. So let's just review that part again. I'll face this way. Here, I wave at the crowd, I like to call it that, wave at the crowd, and I hold the tray. Then my left foot moves forward, I bring my weight forward, and I strike with the pinky finger side of my right hand, my left hand comes back. See the tool motion here? Now, my left hand only comes back here though. just to the side of my head here. Okay? So let's do it again facing the camera. Right hand, left hand. The weight comes forward, and then you strike with the right hand, left hand comes back. Now from here, think of a line from the bottom of your right wrist, or the bottom of your right hand, sorry, the bottom of your left hand to your right hip, like this, and then drop it along that line. And as you do, drop your right hand. Okay? So to tie that into the rest of it, it's right hand, left hand. Step forward slightly, right hand forward, left hand drops, right hand drops back. See, this motion is this way. Here. Okay? Now, what you're doing. We go back to this. You guys are here, and I'm going to do my punches. Okay? Here comes the left, block it with the right hand. Here comes the right, block it with the left hand. Now, slide in, keeping contact with my right hand with your left, and hit my sternum, my center of my chest, with your right hand forward. There. Okay? Once you've done that, notice that your left hand is still up, connected to the inside of my right arm, so I can't do anything about that. And now take your left hand up on this side and strike down and across the cheekbone or the ear here. Okay? So I'll do it again with the punches. So go back to here. Block with the right hand, block with the left hand. Shift in and hit the sternum with your right hand. Ooh. And then take your left hand and clip the side of the head with the palm heel as it goes across. Okay? So let's do that again together. Here. I reach out. I reach out again with my left. Now I'm connected to the right arm. I shift my weight forward and I hit with my right hand forward. My left hand still on the inside. And then I strike across with my left hand coming down there. Now, this is a odd strike. Both of these are kind of unusual strikes, actually. This one, most people don't think of it being particularly useful, but if you strike, if you just tap, it's actually a good idea to do this, but if you tap in the middle of the sternum here, especially in the upper part where the thymus line is, it's good for you. But you can feel that it doesn't feel great. It has a weird sensation here. It's a very weak point of the rib cage. The ribs are bone, but the sternum is cartilage. So the idea is that you're going to go strike that, it'll shock the person. And then this strike, using this part of your hand here, which you see in the beginning of the form, right? This here, is striking a very sensitive area along the side of the jaw or the ear or by the eye or the cheekbones. All of this area here is tons of bundles of nerves. There's one point right back here where you can knock somebody out with 10 pounds pressure per square inch. So it's a very effective strike. But it's just, you got to get used to the idea of using your hands in that way, which it's all over the form. And then there's one more move. And the final move in this sequence is a classic boxer move. It's really hilarious that it exists in the Tai Chi in this way because it's like Mike Tyson sort of move. Although it's expressed slightly differently. So look, we go to here, and I reach with my right, and I extend my left, and then I move in and I do the strike with my right hand at the sternum, and then I hit the side of the head with my left palm heel here. As my hands drop, my right hand closes here, and then it comes around and it does a hook punch. Now, Mike Tyson's hook punch and boxing hook punches are like this, and you can see that the knuckles are all to the ceiling. Tai Chi hook punches are like this. So the fingers are to the outside, the palm is to the outside, the thumb is down. So it comes up and it goes like that. Okay, so let's put it all together. Imagine this will be eating most of our time today. What are we doing for time anyway? Yeah, we're almost done. So we'll review this because I said this is a very complex sequence, but I'll also tell you guys that this is one of my favorite sequences in all of the Tai Chi form. The whole thing, this is just such a brilliant use of body movement. So from here, facing the camera, right hand comes across, left hand extends up. The left foot moves in slightly, and the right hand strikes forward to here. Very short strike, just out to there. Then the left hand clips across the head, and then the right hand makes a fist and swings in, and watch how my left hand comes out of the way and does a hook punch to the temple. Okay? So we'll do it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now, with just enough time, we'll do the whole form to that point. You'll see how it integrates, and then next class we'll review it, as I said. Okay? So, from here, just from the hand rising point, up. Now remember, turn and bring the foot up and out and push. And again, turn, bring the foot into the other foot, out and push. Up and forward, back. Now this is what we did today. Wave at the crowd. Hold the tray. Shift in and strike with the right hand, with the left hand, and then a right hook punch, Tai Chi style. And you are one sequence away from the end of the first set. So congratulations, everybody. You're doing really well. Any last questions?
I had a question about the Tai Chi clock.
Oh, okay. I can try to answer that.
Okay, so my biological clock, or if I go according, do you choose 1 o'clock because of the Tai Chi clock?
No. That's just what works for the garden and for myself, and it's more just practicality.
Okay.
Definitely it's a decent time of the day though, because it's very yang time of the day. It's just past noon, right? And that's a good time for activity. But
Oh, really?
yeah, oh yeah. Well, basically activity is a good thing at almost all times. But I'm sure you're aware though that there's the idea of practicing the Tai Chi at like 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. This idea is a good one if you can manage it, because what it does is it sort of sets the Tai Chi dynamics into motion at the beginning of the day, and then that's supposed to carry through for the rest of the day. But in terms of overall training, that's only one side of the equation. That's the yang element, because the daytime is yang. It's also good to train Tai Chi at night so that it feeds into the yin aspect of your life too. So it's really flexible. It's really flexible.
Oh, because I've been practicing it about 8:30 at night.
Yeah, and like my teacher would always say to me, whenever you're called to train, train. You should do it regularly every day, but when you feel it's the right time, that's the right time.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Fun question. Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Okay, thank you guys very much for your time. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.